Torey Eisenman, Benchmark Real Estate Group, and we're with Brad Siebert from the mortgage firm, also known as We Are Not the Banks. We're going to talk a little bit today about loans and credit scores. And, I have people call me all the time. They don't want to get their credit run because they're nervous about what's going to happen to their credit score. But the reality of the matter is, from my perspective, if they get their credit run now, you can coach them on exactly where to go and what to do, if anything, so they get better rates and better terms.
Yeah, and unfortunately, a lot of the stuff that you see on TV and the radio and the internet, your credit scores aren't actually accurate. Right. So a lot of people hear things that to me are like urban myths, where they're just not exactly true. The best thing to do is start with one lender that you know and trust. Have them run your credit. That way we know it's a legitimate report. And based on that, we can make good and accurate decisions that say if we need to get your credit score from a 580 to a 600, what exactly is it going to take? Not, well, this is what I think.
Right.
We don't try to think what's going to happen. We should know what's going to happen.
So you talk about a lender that you know and trust. Today, all over the internet, fill out this form. We're going to help you do whatever.
Right.
That doesn't always work.
No, and to me, I would want to go and do business with somebody that I could actually hold accountable. When you're dealing with these online people, they don't know you. They know that there's no way they're ever going to run into you. They're not going to be at the closing, which to me should be a primary concern. If you have a question at closing and the lender's not there, who's going to be there to answer the question? Somebody that's not qualified.
It's all the loan docs.
Right. So they're asking the title company questions about the mortgage that they had nothing to do with.
Right. And if it's a busy time of year, you have mobile closers and they don't understand any of the paperwork anyway. They're just there to literally make sure people are signing on the correct line.
Yeah, they're just there to sign and make sure it's notarized. They have no idea about, the transaction that took place or any of the information that may or may not have, been of interest.
So let's talk about the steps. Somebody comes, they get their credit run. Mm-hmm. Great. Maybe they can raise their score 10 points. Maybe they don't need to. What's the next step in that process with somebody looking to purchase?
Yeah. Once we pull their credit, we put it through our underwriting software, and it'll give us some feedback whether you're approved or not. If you're approved, we're going to issue you the pre-approval. But your credit score may dictate what kind of interest rate you get. And what I try to do is I look at where you are now and say, is there a possibility within reason, without going into any undue risk, to get you to the next level? So as a direct lender, we want to offer you the best rates possible. So it's sometimes with just a little bit more work, we can increase your scores with minimal risk and lower your payment at the same time.
But you have a program now where I don't necessarily have to bring you all my bank statements?
No, with us, we've invested in technology that allows us to do two things. One, a lot of times people will start looking, right now we're in July, they may start looking now in maybe October, November, they get the contract. Well, the information we have now is not good in November. So now they're having to go back through, print the bank statements, print the pay stubs, which could be time consuming. So we have technology that will allow us to request information from whoever you bank with. Instead of you having to provide us with a bank statement, we can put a request into, let's just say you're working with Bank One, whoever they are. We could request Bank One information to be sent to us without having you to provide the information. And if your employer uses a service to verify income, we could actually verify income without ever seeing a pay stub. So we know what it is. Again, it's not a guess. I don't have to send it to underwriting. This information's all generated via the computer, and we'll know exactly we verified this much income, and as long as that works, then there's no need to get continual updated pay stubs every week or other week.
So if I apply for a loan with you and I fill out information now, my bank stubs and my pay documentation is going to automatically upload into your computer system?
With your authorization.
Right.
Yes.
So once I sign off and I say that's okay, you're not going to call me in 3 weeks and say, give me an updated pay stub.
No, because what I'll do is when I'm putting your employer into the system, if there's not an exact match, we'll go into the database And if we can find it, once we go into our computer system, at that point in time, our computer system will say, okay, we've been able to verify $50,000 worth of income. Once we have that verification in our system, then there's no need to worry about updated pay stubs. Now, if you get a bonus or you're doing commission,
That's different.
that'll be different. But your basic salary, I would say it's becoming more and more popular for businesses to use this third-party verification system. So I would say between 50 and 60% of the times we're able to get income without continually having to go back.
Which saves the consumer time.
It's
Having
headache.
to send you documents. It has to be done
Right.
through a secure portal. Make sure
Yeah.
that their stuff's protected.
And one of the things people don't realize is, well, I don't want my information going over, the internet. Well, that's why we use these links
Right.
to prevent people from having to download their bank statements. Because a lot of times people, when they access their online information at home, you don't have the firewalls, the encryptions that we use. So
Right.
this just adds an extra layer of security. Instead of going online, accessing your system, you basically provide us approval to communicate with your bank, an algorithm sent to your bank saying this is what we requested, and we get it back. And then when, let's say you give an additional deposit 2 weeks after the contract, I don't have to call you and say, can you send me a copy of the check
The
that
proof.
shows that? We can submit a request without logging onto your system that says to your bank, hey, we need the transactions from this date to this date. And how it happens, I don't know, but there's very
Just
smart
works.
people.
Yeah.
Right.
So it works, and that's going to save people a lot of time. So if somebody wants to understand where their credit's at and how to get a loan, how do they reach you?
They call me at 407-353-3750, or they can always go online to wearenotthebanks.com.
And if you know anybody that needs help with this, share this video.